Coming up on Meet the Drapers.
And are currently finalizing our first pilot order with one of the top fleet operators in India.
And when I looked deeper into the numbers, they're actually spending $25 to $30 billion just on pet grooming.
This marketplace for the US alone is roughly 26 billion US dollars.
This could go any number of ways.
That's what's so exciting.
We're funding heroes, heroes.
Welcome to Meet the Drapers. I'm Tim Draper. This is my father, Bill Draper, my sister, Polly Draper. We are here to create the next generation of startup heroes. Every week, 3 heroes pitch their game-changing ideas to us. We choose one winner to move to the playoffs. 3 heroes of our choice then move to the finals. But here's the big twist. You, the viewers, can invest with us in these companies. The 3 heroes that you fund the most will also move to the finals, where they'll battle it off for $500,000. The power is now in your hands.
Welcome back to Meet the Drapers. We've got some great guests for you today. Not only do we have my sister, Polly Draper, who's a famous actress, but we also have my father, who was a pioneer in venture capital and recently cut new turf in creating a nonprofit venture capital company. For our other judges, I'm going to do this. Siri, meet the Drapers.
Which one?
Which one is the answer? Now, why did I do that? I did that because Adam Chire is our newest Draper, and he is the inventor of Siri with Viv Labs, and we are all the beneficiaries. I use this all the time. Siri is so awesome, and that we decided that we would hire our first associate at Draper Associates. We made sure that she was named Siri. So we actually have the inventor of Siri, and we have Siri Servinas, who is a venture capitalist from Draper Associates. Welcome to the family.
It's great to be here among such an illustrious cohort.
Adam, I'd like to hear from you on what you think the future of AI is, and how is voice going to change, and what's it all going to become?
Just about every 10 years, the way people interact with computers changes. So in the mid-'80s, out came Windows. About 10 years later came the web. Roughly 10 years later, we had mobile. And I think if done right, and we're close, the conversational voice assistant can be a paradigm as important as the web and mobile. I think it's going to change the way we interact with everything.
It sure has made my life more convenient, so we appreciate all the work you've done to make that happen. Siri, the other Siri, what do you think the new innovations in AI are going to look like? What are our entrepreneurs going to be bringing us over the next couple of years?
When I first joined the team, Tim's advice to us was read all the sci-fi there is, because that points at what the next technological innovation is going to be. And voice, if you think about it, the ball was set rolling decades ago. Now it's coming into prominence, but I think other forms of sensory input is going to be really, really important as well. Smart devices that control our environments, and we give input through touch, through other types of feedback. There will be seamless connection between what we think and want and how hardware responds to that. Those are some ideas that I can think of.
Terrific. You know, AI is going to take all our jobs, and that came to me from Adam Draper. We started to think about how it's going to change venture capital. We're going to have technology there that determines passion, lie detection, and it might end up doing almost a better job than we could, maybe a better job. AI is going to take all our jobs, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to have jobs. That just means that all the mundane tasks are going to be taken by AI, and we're all going to be better off as a result, and our jobs will be much more interesting. So let's bring on our first entrepreneur. But before we do, let's look and see what's going on behind the scenes.
The idea for Strom really came while we were working at this large solar site. It was really putting like a coal plant out of work. And it was also generating a lot of local employment. The whole town was now built around this solar site. And that really got us thinking, is like, what can we do to really, accelerate this change? And we started looking into it. And once we found out that car companies have no incentive to actually start changing to electric vehicles, we were like, it's probably a time of a startup to actually push the envelope and make the difference there.
With what happened with COVID, we saw it firsthand, all of us. Now we have cars coming in front of our house on a regular basis, like 3-4 times a day, just delivering packages. If all of that was done with electric vehicles like Strom, that would change the picture from a pollution standpoint.
Investing in Strom could really change the reality for a lot of people. The product was developed for an international market. We are going to make this a global product as we go along.
All right, welcome back. And we are going to hear our first entrepreneurial pitch today. Strom, give us your pitch.
Hi, I'm Pratik, and today I'm joined by Jean-Luc, and we are from Strom Motors. Every electric car that replaces a gasoline car reduces carbon footprint by 3 tons annually. Companies like Tesla has already solved this problem for the developed world, but the price points are way too high for the developing majority of the world. Strom has the right product for this market. 50% of cars in India are hatchbacks, and they cost about $6,000. So these are compact vehicles which are used for everyday commute in crowded cities. And they sell about 1.5 million of those. That's a $9 billion market. While the cheapest electric car in the Indian market is currently at $18,000 and only goes 60 miles, we think the problem here is weight. These cars are way too big, way too heavy, and they require massive batteries which take several hours to charge. Today, I would like to introduce you to Strom R3. It's a reverse strike. It's nimble, it's agile, it's safe, it's as stable as a hatchback. You can park these at the airports as daily rentals. You can put these at city hubs for hourly rentals, or even drive them as taxis. For fleet owners, these cars come with swappable batteries. So your cars are back on the road within minutes rather than waiting several hours for charging. Strom weighs at almost half its competitors, and that's how we are able to price it at about $6,000 compared to the $18,000 of a current car, and still offer twice the range. At our digital launch in April 2020, we've got several hundreds of pre-orders and are currently finalizing our first pilot order with one of the top fleet operators in India. And we did not just stop there. We partnered with IIT Mumbai Design School and created a cargo variant for global logistics market and door-to-door delivery market, which is booming. And especially during COVID, this market has seen a huge surge. EVs are not just environmentally friendly, they're actually massive business. So please invest in Strom Motors. Join our journey, which is just getting started. Thank you.
Now, we backed Reva, and they're the ones I think that you're talking about that run for 60 miles. What is the range on yours?
So we do about 125 miles per charge.
So twice as far.
So we're doing twice. Yeah.
And you think that that's going to be enough? I mean, when you start a new car company, that's a big deal. And you guys may be heroes, but this is tough. Okay, so tell me how you're going to do it. I mean, if you're going to raise, $1 million on a crowdfund, that's hardly enough to start creating a bunch of cars.
Look at what we did with $650,000 so far. We have cars. I drove it in February of this year. Works great. So we're going to go step by step. And yes, 1 to 2 million won't be enough, but it will take us to the next step. Strategics, they're not doing anything in that space. So they will need companies like Strom at some point as partners.
So I love the light form factor for an urban market, but 2 things that I worry about. One is safety. How safe would it have to be in a collision? And secondly, storage. If you're a taxi market, I need to bring my suitcase and put it into that taxi. What kind of storage capacity do you have, if any?
The car is government approved in India, which holds true for the European market. That means Strom can start selling these cars in the European market, and it's meeting all the safety regulations that are set by them. In terms of storage, we have storage in the front, storage in the rear. The front storage is good for a carry-on luggage, while the storage in the rear is as big as a medium-sized suitcase. So that fits well with the Indian conditions and even several European cities. In fact, we've been getting a lot of interest from shared mobility providers based in Germany, in Latin America, for this very product.
Reba was headquartered in Bangalore, where I'm from, and it was revolutionary at the time, right? People weren't really thinking about an EV, let alone in India. It was still a premium product, but people loved it. That said, they ran into a niche market. What makes you different, and why would it be you versus, say, not Tesla or even GM or anyone else building a hybrid vehicle?
We've learned from them, and we've kind of improved on that. They were much heavier, and that's why they required massive batteries. That was the price points were almost twice what we are at. Also, now the shared mobility market is much more mature. Reva had to develop the whole market in the consumer space, while we are only working on B2B right now, and that space is already very, very mature right now.
What is the price of your automobile?
So it's about $6,000.
And what are your costs?
Currently, we are at about 15% gross margin, and with higher volume next year, would be around 25% gross margin.
And how are you thinking about establishing a charging network, which is going to be really expensive?
So that is the primary reason why we're not going after the consumer market, because the consumer market is really sensitive about charging network. Where is my charger? How fast can it happen? While as a B2B operator, they are setting up these hubs of 50 to 100 cars, where the cars will come in and swap the batteries. And once the government and private sector charging networks become more denser, that's when you start entering the consumer space.
Battery swap technology never really worked or took off here in the US. Do you have any idea why it's going to work for you and it didn't work here?
We only offer the battery swaps to the business B2B guys who have a very planned schedule, and you can schedule cars coming in. You only need 20% extra battery as opposed to 100% extra battery. In Korea and Taiwan, a lot of Southeast Asian EV growth in two-wheeler, three-wheeler space is currently on the back of swappable battery systems.
Terrific. Well, thank you for being an entrepreneurial hero and going out and trying to make the world a better place, and for joining us here at Meet the Drapers.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So, what did everybody think about Strom Motors? Siri, what'd you think?
When we're talking about really challenging, complex technology, do we need one for emerging markets, one for developed markets? I'm just not that convinced.
It's a really difficult thing to imagine a new automobile company succeeding. There is so much refined competition, so much sophisticated management, and against you. I would like to do it because of just association to the Indian market, but I would be pretty skeptical that we'd make any money.
Adam, what did you think?
I love the vision. I love how they're starting with B2B. I think it's a long shot. You know, they have to worry about maintenance and repairs and how are you going to fix these, etc. So it's a big challenge. I'd feel better if they were raising a lot more money, if they were more well-funded. It's impressive what they've been able to accomplish with so little. I'm hoping for them. I wish for them. I like what they're trying to do.
Polly, what'd you think?
I would love it, especially in India where the pollution levels are so high, to have a cheap electric car. God, how could that be better? But then I was thinking, they were talking about exporting this car, and I thought, where would they export it to? It would have to be people that use that battery. They'd have to have whatever that setup was. Just India would be great, but even India sounds like far-fetched.
You know, Uber's made it so that having your own automobile is less interesting. It may not be a car for the underdeveloped nations. It may be a car for the cities, where people want it in the cities, because you're not going to want a big car. It's hard to park in the city, and you're going to want smaller cars. So we gotta come out now with our answer. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs all around. Okay, I'm sort of mostly down. Siri's way down. Adam's sideways. Polly's sideways. And Dad has gotten up And he is up. He must be very enthusiastic about this.
My thumb is up.
His thumb is up. That's what he said. Okay, great. Now, let's bring on our next entrepreneur. But before we do, let's see what's going on behind the scenes.
Okay, do your eyebrows, Adam.
Oh, yeah. This is...
Yeah, he's got good ones.
His are more mobile than mine are.
They are. They're really speedy. They're speedy.
Pawsh came into light because of this guy, Hachi, who is a 8-pound Maltese. When I got him, the breeder told me that you need to take this guy to groomers every 4 to 6 weeks. I took him to the local PetSmart after a month, and he had a very bad experience. And when I went back, he was like screaming and he was shivering. So the whole experience made me look at options other than going to a pet grooming salon. And that's how we founded Pawsh. If Pawsh scales and becomes a mainstream app, I think we're going to make a lot of pets happy. Not only that, we're going to make a lot of pet groomers happy because today they break their backs doing that. They actually groom 8 to 12 dogs every single day. With Pawsh, they groom half the dogs and make 4 times the money. Of course, you should invest in Pawsh because we're going to make your pets happy and make you happy too because we're going to save you a lot of time. We're going to make a huge impact, not just with pets, but also with pet groomers overall, and also helping a lot of people start their own businesses.
All right, now we're going to hear from Pawsh. Why don't you give us your pitch?
Hello, Draper family. My name is Karthik. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Pawsh, and we bring the pet grooming salon to your living room. Our mission is to enable pet groomers across the globe to start, run, and grow their pet grooming businesses in a hyper-local way. 80% of the groomers today earn less than $18 an hour, and there are 500,000 groomers out there who don't have an easy way to find work that pays more. Meet Hachi, who's my 4-year-old Maltese who lives with me in California. He got groomed at PetSmart and he hated it. They kept him in a cage for 3 to 4 hours with no water, no pee breaks, and no food. So this led me to buy some grooming tools and attempt to groom him. Well, it was a disaster. That made me call the groomer at PetSmart and request her, hey, would you be willing to come to my home to groom my pet on a weekend or off hours? To my luck, she agreed. While I was watching Netflix, she actually groomed my pet. When I went and did some research, it blew my mind. Pet parents in this country are spending $100 billion each year on their pets. There are 200 million cats and dogs in the country, and people are spending more money on their pets than their kids. And when I looked deeper into the numbers, they're actually spending $25 to $30 billion just on pet grooming. So I felt the market is huge and the opportunity is huge. So I quit my job, enlisted my co-founder, Kim. We both on weekends started a basic website using Squarespace and launched it with the groomer I met. We believe that pet grooming is an art form and groomers are entrepreneurs. We want to enable groomers across the globe to start their own businesses. So since we launched 12 months ago, we've generated over $100K in revenue with $0 spent in marketing. Our cohort retention rate is 60%, and we have raised funding from folks like Village Global and Twin Ventures. Thank you.
Terrific. So did you say it's $23 billion market for pet grooming? Is that worldwide?
No, just in the US.
$23 billion? That's amazing. That's a lot of fur. So
yeah, it is.
This seems like an obvious thing that I probably would have seen before. Aren't there a lot of companies doing similar things?
So there are companies doing it, not a lot. We only know like 2 companies doing it. One is Rover, who are already established in the market. They're doing that in 4 different markets. And there is one more company in New York doing it, but they didn't grow out of New York. It's not about dogs or customers, it's all about groomers. So the company that understands groomers and provide them the tools to grow will win this race, and we are trying to do that. We actually pivoted from a model where we just hired groomers as independent contractors and provided them a platform to helping them start businesses after COVID, because that's what we have seen the trend do.
What about larger scope websites like Thumbtack or things like that? And there you can get a magician and a dog groomer How do you see competition from the broader set of service providers?
Yeah, I mean, Thumbtack is basically a lead gen for groomers, and they hate it because they pay for every single lead they talk to. What we do is we are doing not just lead gen, but also giving them the tools to run their business, expenses, income, help them with taxes and everything. When we tried the first initial model, there was a lot of leakage. And the reason why we saw that is because groomers want to be independent. Once they get connected to the customer, they want to stick with that customer. So there is no way for us to hold them. So we thought, give them a tool that they can use it for free, and also give them the tools and the lead gen so that they stick with us and we charge the customer.
So grooming feels like a very specific and niche service for pets. Why are you in a better position to corner this market versus, like you mentioned, Rover, which has raised a lot of money, or WAG, which is where a lot of pet owners already are?
I spoke to a lot of people at WAG. I mean, dog walking is completely different from grooming. So if you don't understand groomers and cater services just for them, you're not going to succeed in this market. I mean, Rover is failing at this. They started in 4 markets and they're not seeing any success because groomers join, steal the customers and leave. So it's not going to work that way.
So what is your sales volume today? And what is your profitability?
Yeah, so we generated over 100K in the past 12 months, and we make 15% of that.
That is a pretty small business. How is it going to get bigger?
We just focus in the SF market right now with just few groomers. So what we're trying to do right now is democratize the platform in a way that any groomer from anywhere can join the platform and start doing business. So we now have around 120 groomers signed up on the platform. And the revenue generated is with zero marketing dollars. We never spend $1 on marketing.
I guess I sort of don't get that the customer pays you out, because wouldn't then the customer just do what those other groomers were doing and saying, hey, listen, can we just make a deal?
Yeah, there are 2 reasons why it won't happen. One is we have an insurance layer where we provide insurance for the pet. Number 2 is that when a issue happens, they want a company to be involved. So we ask this question a lot to our customers, asking them, hey, the groomer now, why don't you just ask them to come out of the system and do it for you? They said, to save like $5-10, we want to have options when this groomer don't show up. I mean, not every groomer is reliable.
What is the repeat rate? How many times a year do your users use you on average?
So our cohort retention is 60%, but if you look at the numbers, like people come back to us every 4 to 6 weeks. And it depends on what size of pet you have. If you have a pet that is below 15 pounds, we see them coming more often than people who have larger dogs. It depends also on the owner. If some owners like to maintain their pets, they brush them every day and maintain them, so they go longer. So we actually assess the pet when you first meet them and give them a schedule saying that, hey, this dog needs to be on a schedule. So we actually have a lot of recurring customers on the platform who just book every month. So we just charge them every month without them coming back to the platform every single time.
Terrific. Well, Kartik, thank you for coming in and pitching us Pawsh.
Thank you.
So what did everybody think of Pawsh? Dad, you want to start?
Yeah, I've got 2 dogs, a chocolate lab and a dachshund. And I don't ever think about grooming either one of them. They don't ever get groomed, and they look very good.
But to be fair, if you have a long-haired dog, you do. Like when I had a Cocker Spaniel, I have to get him groomed because anytime he goes out, he gets mats in him. So you do have to get him groomed like once a month. If you have a dog like your dogs, nah, you don't need that. I'm not sure I'm that crazy about this setup just for his sake, because it doesn't seem like it's going to generate much money for him. It just sounds like there's too many ways that his control on it can be circumvented.
It seems like they really need a marketing person. They need to scale this up. It seems like this is going to either just sit in obscurity or they're going to have to raise a bunch of money for marketing. But I think there's money out there. I just got my hair cut yesterday and I paid more to have the person come because it's COVID times. I can't go inside. So they came and groomed me outside in my backyard, and it was great and it was convenient.
And it looks very good.
Oh, thank you.
If this were to take off, this would be a time when it would really take off. It's during COVID times. But he did mention we don't need any marketing. It sort of sells itself because everybody tells everybody else and stuff. So that surprised me too.
I think he's so focused on the supply side, and that probably explains something, because when you're building out a marketplace, you should be obsessed with the demand side. I feel like there is a mismatch in priorities. I think he's thinking too much about the groomers versus the pet owners. But it is a massive market. I mean, we've invested so much in this space, and some very exciting companies as well. So
I'm with Siri on this. I think that the entrepreneur, his real passion, his hero focus is on the groomer. It does seem to be a much bigger market than I thought, and the fact that they'll keep coming back monthly, if he can make that happen, that could be quite extraordinary. And it is true, I would much rather have the groomer come to my house than have to go out to PetSmart or somewhere else to groom. Let's do the thumbs. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs all around. I'm at about a 1/4 down. Oh, we've got an up. You know, that may be right. Well, let's bring on our next entrepreneur. But before we do, you know what we got to do? Go back behind the scenes, see what's going on.
Just about 8 years ago, I was trying to explain how internet apps work to both my grandmother as well as my young nephew. In this moment, I realized that they had actually big problems of remembering online services, and my idea was at this moment to give them a simpler language that they could use to access the internet.
Usually people don't like to talk to an AI, you just have a request and you just want to have that request fulfilled with a service without any brand behind that, and that's the concept behind what we are doing.
In order to use a telephone, we had to invent phone numbers. In order to use the internet, we had to invent the URLs. Now a new system is needed in order to combine different voice AI technologies, and that's why we're starting up Whoelse. Meet the Drapers is really an amazing opportunity, because on one hand side we want to internationalize this product, but as well to build, as part of the crowdfunding, a community around this product and around the idea of simplifying the language used between different voice AI technologies.
So who else? Oh, our next entrepreneur is Whoelse. Give us the pitch.
Yes, happy to do so. Hi, I'm Tobias.
And I'm Sven. We are pitching for Whoelse.ai. Our service allows you to always speak to the best AI available.
We are steadily approaching a world with billions of connected devices, and these devices communicate with each other. Soon, many of these will understand natural language, which means you can talk to them and they will take your request. Some of those are already available today, like Alexa or Siri. Unfortunately, they operate only within their relatively small ecosystem.
There's more than 100 languages and already 1,000 voice AIs out there in the market. As a company operating in different national markets, it's really tough and you need a lot of different voice AIs to make sure that your customer receives the best voice assistant available.
Our vision is the one AI that knows all the other AIs in the world. With Whoelse, you can talk to any available voice assistant and request any service you like. The assistant will forward your request to the best AI available to service you.
Well, that sounds good. Let's have a look.
Hi Lisa, how can I help you?
AI, get me a conference room for 5 people at 11 a.m.
I booked meeting room G for you. Any other wishes?
Yes, maybe I need help to file an income tax statement for our company. Who should I talk to?
I can't file taxes myself, but I will now connect you to the best AI available.
Welcome at CWPU Global Tax Advisors. Start by telling me your tax.
So you can see all these different systems, they're easily connected via our global Whoelse standard in order to transmit your intent. And at the interconnection of all these intents, a marketplace is created. In a few years, the potential volume of this marketplace for the US alone is roughly $26 billion.
You only use one brand and one language in one global standard.
This is going to be a real voice services revolution, and it's going to be relevant to anybody on this planet who can talk.
And you can be part of it now. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Terrific. Well, we We're very fortunate to have one of our judges who is the inventor of Siri. And so I think I'm going to ask Adam if he'll ask you a couple of questions.
So I absolutely love the vision of connecting all the world's services together into one front-end assistant. I think you guys are spot on with that. But to pull it off is a challenge. You're trying to build a marketplace. So my first question is, how many back-end providers or back-end assistants have connected, and how many front-end assistants are you integrated in? How many entry points?
Well, we have a very cool go-to-market strategy by developing industry standards for NLP interoperability. Now what we're doing is we're working together with OEMs such as telecommunication companies, such as smart speaker producers, such as automotive companies who are already integrating white label voice technologies. And on the other hand side, we're approaching NLP providers who want to sell to those OEMs.
Aren't Siri and Alexa really going to be the front end to all these things? And aren't you really just building middleware that they can bring into their program? Or are you going to somehow create something that has such an awesome user interface that you're going to be able to replace Siri and Alexa?
If you think about Alexa, in order to use Alexa, you need to install different skills in order to have a service. What we instead offer is a protocol that is replacing these different skills by making any kind of service available from the protocol. So we are not a replacement to Siri and Alexa, we're in addition to that, and the addition to that has a huge benefit that you can combine many different AIs using a globally harmonized standard.
But if Google and Apple and everybody else who's in this space are working on that interim step, and Google's got the largest sort of stash of searchable information, and they can get the user the information they need immediately, what does that do to your building a protocol or a marketplace to connect different voice assistants?
The 1,000 NLP providers basically are looking for a business case because at the moment they are software as a service, but they don't have a marketplace business case. What we're providing them is a shared standard because it's so simple that you can dispatch any kind of voice command using this open standard instead of a closed ecosystem. Nobody can look into the Google search graph. That's a problem for this 1,000 NLPs. That's why we're providing them a shared base in order to exchange information.
A lot of OEMs would like to go into this voice commerce area, but they're kind of afraid, at least in Europe, to go onto the Google platform or the Amazon platform because they just fear that their gadgets become a microphone for the big GAFA players.
So in a sense, you're a directory service, and you will be a registry that particular assistants map. So this one provides taxi service, this one provides flowers service. Are you also doing the, let's call it free natural language text mapping to your standard as you showed in the demo, where I could say, gee, I don't know, I would like to do some insurance quote thing, and you would take that string and say, aha, that means it maps to insurance? Or are you just the directory service?
We're using white label AIs that are suited for the individual markets, for instance, Nuance or IBM Watson, and we use them as a front end. Then there's our directory service, and we provide them options to forward the intent to. So we're providing this shared registry and a shared language, and we use this industry standards to plug them in.
Who else? You guys are great. Thank you for being heroes, doing extraordinary things. We're going to discuss you and then the other companies and see who gets to go to our semifinals.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Thanks for the chance.
So Adam, what do you think?
They're basically just an open standard in a registry, and their standard's very simple. It's like taxi, flowers, not much more than that. They're not doing natural language. They're not providing a front-end experience themselves. I love the vision. I want interoperability among services and content. I don't think they're down a good path, in my opinion.
Are you interested in it as a concept so that you can think of ways that you could improve upon it?
Absolutely. But for instance, at Samsung with Bixby, we are doing this and much, much more. And the difference is Samsung has 1 billion devices with Bixby in it. They can get partners to connect. And we do have an interoperability standard. The big companies are looking at this. Bixby, in my biased view, is the furthest along already.
And you don't feel like you're saying that because you've got a competitive offering. You think that they're just sort of lost in the ether here.
I want this vision to emerge. I just don't believe, with what I've seen, that they're going to be the ones to pull it off.
I was thinking also the UX is more like being put on hold. Let me connect you to a different person, and let me connect you to a different person, which we probably don't want.
Unless they have contact with the end user, they're going to be in a very weak position. But if they do have contact with the end user, connecting with the flower people and getting some commission from everybody that they refer, I think is going to be quite valuable. Okay, we're going to need thumbs. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs all around. How are we coming out?
I'm down.
I'm so into whatever Adam says on this one. It's like asking the Jesus of this thing for the path.
I think we got the path. What we're going to do is we're going to discuss which of these 3 companies we would like to go on to the semifinals. Strom Motors, Pawsh, and who else? What's going to happen at the end is we're going to confer with a crystal ball, and the crystal ball will say whatever it is.
Yeah, so it has nothing to do with any of us.
Oh, you know, the crystal ball is listening.
No, right, yeah. It's got its own opinion, though.
Dad, what did you think is the best choice here?
I think it's about in that order that you just delivered.
Strom Motors is your first choice.
Right.
I think I'm with Dad. Just because the idea of it is fantastic. A cheap car that's electric in India, it seems so nice.
I would go slightly ahead with Pawsh, but I'd say if we give you an investment, you have to get a marketing person who cares about the buyer. I was impressed with Strom, how much they accomplished with almost no money. And the last one, I wouldn't vote for it.
I agree with Adam. Maybe more than a marketing person, they need a growth person so that they don't get too complacent. With who else, I think I'm going to defer to Adam on that one. I was a lot more excited until I heard his opinion. So
I thought that Strom was going after something that could end up being a really big market, but they're kind of late to the game. Pawsh, I can't believe that market's as big as they said it is, but I think that we do have a problem in that he likes the groomer more than the pet owner. Who else? I think that that's a really interesting business to go after now, but I think we're all getting pretty comfortable with Siri and Alexa, and I think that they're going to branch out into all those things. So the crystal ball is going to have a lot of trouble. This could go any number of ways. Well, thank you all so much for being on Meet the Drapers. We love that these heroes are going off to make the world a better place, and you are all in for a great journey. Strom, we were concerned about how capital intense it was. We understand you've done a lot with a little, and maybe you can continue to do that. Our other concerns is this is a car company. It is really tough. There are all sorts of pieces that come together to make a good car company. With Pawsh, we thought this is a great new marketplace. Nobody seems to have tapped it. Your love for the dog groomer was a little too intense, and your love for the dog owner was not intense enough. You need to be really tight with that dog owner and understand them really well and understand why only 60% are coming back. And then who else? We had a real expert here, and so we really do have some real depth in what it is you're doing. I was very concerned about how you were going to get in touch with that end user. That's a big deal for us. Toughest decision we've had so far. So I'm going to go to the crystal ball, and we're going to figure out who goes on to the semifinals. The rest of you, by the way, are not cut out because even though you're not going through the semifinals, if you're one of the top 3 crowdfunded groups, you will go to the top and be in our finale. With that said, we're going to the crystal ball. Pawsh! So Pawsh, see what you can do with this. And we're looking forward to you getting more interested in that end user. And the other guys, look, you got a great opportunity. You're doing great things. Keep up the good work and do your crowdfunding. And the viewers, go to meetthedrapers.com and fund these guys. Make something happen.
Meeting everybody from the Draper family and the guest judge was really exhilarating.
I was impressed by the fact that each of them went straight to the point. They got it very quickly and they went straight to the questions that are relevant. It's an interesting experience. They should invest in us because we're solving a real problem that everyone can see. So they can, on one hand, fix the environment, enjoy a new type of car, and make money by investing in the right company.
It was a good time. Admittedly, we were a bit nervous.
Yeah, I mean, but how often do you pitch on TV?
It was really cool pitching to Adam.
I mean, if there's anybody on this planet who knows a thing or two about voice, then it's probably him.
His questions were right on point and showed us that he grasped the idea immediately. Investing in Whoelse means investing into this industry and technology. Whoelse is a compelling vision and a proven concept.
This technology is definitely going to happen, and now you can make it happen together with us.
Yeah, super excited to know what's in the store and also excited with the fundraising. A lot of great feedback, so pretty excited to meet the Draper family. I would describe them as a unique family, somebody who is like deep in the roots of VC. Like it's pretty surprising to see the whole family understands startups, technology, and has opinion about all that. It's pretty unique for me.
We'll see you next time on Meet the Drapers!
The future with our tech, AI, VR, Bitcoin is the best. We'll build and work and grow with you, having fun along the way. We'll change the world for better.